Oh yes, sir. Oh yes, sir. Islam, Mo.
Well, we gotta get people right. You know what I'm saying? Give me a second. Let's get it.
Yo, I invited. Look. I invited my mom. I invited everybody. Like, bro.
To work the dust off. Yeah, man. Let's get right. Let's get right.
Like, bro, I invited everybody.
But we
Bro.
live
You
now.
gotta cut that screen on.
We
I
live
opened
now.
the gates.
We live now.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm about to meet you for
Woo!
a second. Let the people come in. Let's get
Woo!
right. Let's
It's
get
on
right.
receipts, black on white.
Yes, stop patrolling the block. We get shot by the cops and we calling the cops. Come on, Ock. Y'all was on another level. The black man was God, the white man the devil, now the white man. Or better yet, the European and the Mars when the bees by the soul by Koreans. I'm talking what I'm seeing. I'm just a reporter. How you call a woman to be and you got a daughter. Talk about the Hebrews and demonize women and choose Esau over brothers and giving. Ronnie's timid, soft, and scared to fight. Yelling and wearing spikes, trying to fake me out, right? But you can't fool me. Huh? Hey! If you really want to ride, let's take it to the streets. Get revenge on our people killed by the police. Yeah, right. You ain't busting the great. It appears that you fear and you in love with hate. Correct me if I'm wrong. We might all don't get along. European psychology got us all wrong. Hey! Come on, man. Huh? Get you out the bed. I'm here to spring and get you out the bed. Jake. We gonna let y'all get up in here. Everybody thumbs up. We lost. Come on, D man. Get with the party, brother. Wake up, man. This Moorish World TV, family. They made this Moorish World TV. You don't know what it is? Salute. The visions don't start there, it starts in the head. We got Divine L in the building. We got Big Bro Jonathan in the building. We gonna call him JD. Huh? Hey! 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 Lord need to wake up too, so I'ma wake up you, so we can get together, do what we gotta do. We ain't done much since the prophet left. More standing on law, we still in this mess. Haven't built the town to hold us down. Paperwork can't free us. We looking like clowns, never been to the temple. Let me follow the prophet, but I follow the prophet, and I understand logic. Y'all ready? Come on, man. Listen, family. We're about to turn up on a topic that many people wish that they had the platform to speak out against. And these people that I'm talking about is bona fide elves and bays of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Bona fide elves and bays of the Moorish Science Temple of America that follow the Prophet Noble True Ali to a destiny where it is not uncertain or unknown. We know where we going. Moorish Americans, we don't squat no houses. We don't trip off the right to travel as it relates to being reckless. We don't trip off none of that. So let's build it up. Everybody share it. Everybody thumbs up. We're going to talk about this notorious. Look, she is going to file a lien on me. You know what I mean? She gonna do me a Joe Clark. She gonna lean on me with some paper. The same people that this sister that she calls colonizers, the victimizers of her, she's gonna file a lien on me to them people. Well, I put her name in the title to help her out. Lean on me when you're not strong. Pull yourself a Joe Clark, because we about to get it on. You understand what I'm saying? So, sister, lean on me. Brother, to harken back. Look at your neighbor and say, lean on me. Look at your neighbor and say, lean on me. Because you're going to have to put a lien on me when you're not strong. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be your friend. I'm going to help you carry on. So go on, put a lien on me. Look at your neighbor and say, lean on me. You feel me? Let's go. Hey, 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 hey. Come on. That's how we do it. I'll be that more you gonna remember. I'ma be that more you gonna remember. That's right. I'll be that more you gonna remember. The Hawker Bay front line till the law call my number. Hey, I'll be that more you gonna remember. I'ma be that more you gonna remember. That's right. I'll be that more you gonna remember. Take all the Bay front line till the law call my number. If you a friend of the Lord, then you a friend of mine. I was told to watch my enemies that hold my line. Those that speak against the prophet, they speak against me. And I speak about the prophet over who I be. Who was the first to remind you and bind you back to the rock on the mountain, Mississippi and Quebec. Told you you wasn't black, proved it was straight back. You tripping off trust, you need to be tripping off that. And here we go again, acting like you a slave. Hey, and look at that women buying European hair. No love for self, and do the men really care? Hell nah, cause they got a love for Europe. Whole generation think the bill be the serve. Hey, they love Lil Yachty, Tucci, Gucci, Kodak, Amigos, Raw, Lucid. So when I love for the way, look like your mother. I guess they say it's all black when it's under the cover. I'll be that one you gon' remember. I'ma be that one you gon' remember. That's right. I'll be that one you gon' remember. The Hawker Bay front line till the law call my number. I'll be that one you gon' remember. Hey, I'ma be that one you gon' remember. That's right. I'll be that one you gon' remember. The Hawker Bay front line till the law call my number. The super scholars holler. This guy for the workers. You ain't building on the ground, then you hey, you look and sound good, but that's only on. Let me tell you something. I'm your favorite Moorish American. Listen, hey, where about your listen, but know that I know that I can play it. He ain't my bro. Yeah, you know. Shout out to David Belial. Shout out to the Supreme Grand Chief David Belial, who told me, he said to me, he said, brother to Hawker Bay. He said it like this, Islam, brother to Hawker Bay, you are my favorite Moorish American. Hey, somebody right now. They say that I'm not down. I'm coming for my fast mistakes. I want the town. I sure my schools, my school, yeah. Shout out to David Belial, who says, Moore, I got your back. I said, and I got your back too. Islam, he said, Islam, Moore. But Chinese love China. Italians love Italy. Shout out to Brother Sharif Al Bey. When I first met Brother Sharif Al Bey, I thought I was meeting Michael Jackson of the Moorish American Muslim movement. I was waiting for him to do the moonwalk. Shout out to my brother, my friend, the Grand Sheikh of Temple number 11. What's his name? Azim Hopkins Bey. I thought I was seeing Barack Obama in Moorish flesh and garbs. Here we go. I'll be that boy you gon' remember. I'll be that boy you gon' remember. That's right. I'll be that boy you gon' remember. The Hawker Bay front line till the law call my number. I'll be that boy you gon' remember. I'ma be that boy you gon' remember. Oh yeah. I'll be that boy you gon' remember. The Hawker Bay front line. Shout out to my brother, Haru Reniciel. When I first met him, I thought I was seeing the three Magi's, the three wise men coming from the east. I thought I was seeing these brothers bringing the gifts to the baby, to the promised one, to love made manifest. Shout out to Temple number 9, Brother Haru Reniciel, the Magi. Let's go. Hey. Hawker Bay front line to the law. Hey. Temple 19. I got all pumped up. Let's go.
I be that for you, for me, mama. I be that for you, for me, mama.
Come on. Y'all ready? Huh? We gotta get one more. This how we go.
That means ahead of master.
Shout out to Ninti Bey. When I first met him, I thought I was seeing the Moors who was running up into Spain with them scimitars. Ninti Bey, Unity Temple in the building. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. Hey! Shout out to my brother Akhenaten, assistant grand sheik of the Moorish Temple of American Noble Temples. When I first met him, I thought I was seeing the Egyptian Agdat master in the flesh. Let's go!
In 1913,
Hey!
waiting for Martin had a dream. Waiting for Elijah had a word.
Hey!
Brother Shaw, when he was on the milk crate, going hard on 35th State. Brother Shaw, when he only had his flag,
Hey!
Indiana Avenue,
Hey!
on his head.
Hey!
Brother Shaw, when the enemy tried to kill him,
Hey!
said he was a prophet, but really didn't feel him.
Hey!
Y'all act now, are you?
Shout out to Divine L. When I first met him, I thought he was the street investigator to see who was real on the block. And he was pulling coattails and said, you ain't real. Shout out to Divine L. Let's go. Hey. Now what you gonna do about it?
I know about it. That's right. I'm the third and fourth generation. So I ain't worried about all the hate, all the crazy misinformation need to stop. You know the better thing you want the block to keep them on top and keep us at the bottom.
Hey family, brother Sharif Ninti El Bey is in the building. He's in the chat. Don't nobody tell him that when I met him, I thought I was meeting the Moorish American Michael Jackson. I was waiting for him to do the moonwalk. Let's go. He's gonna moonwalk on somebody tonight, live here on Moorish TV. Let's get it.
Hey, you ain't fighting this war right. Bags under eyes haven't slept this whole night. Reading all the books and telling in the law. What the problem was supposed to do. They got the speak clearly cut on the south side. Hey, hey.
Shout out to myself. When I met myself, I said, self, go ahead and be yourself. Don't worry about what they say about you. You can be loud. You can spit bars. You can represent the 5 highest principles known to man however you see fit. Just represent it and be real to yourself. Shout out to yourself, Tahaka Bay. Let's go. Hey.
When the enemy tried to kill him, when they said he was a prophet, but really didn't feel him.
Where y'all at now?
Are you with me? Are you down? It's time to stand up. The prophecy is down.
Hey!
I hear you talking,
But show me what you producing.
the enemy nothing. We here talking stupid. Up in the courts, getting beat up in the hallway. The king count is on the ground. It's gonna be a long day. Make me wonder why I can't deny it. So misguided. Why in the world we so divided? All we gotta do is use what the prophet provided. Always trying to take the shortcut. The people can't stop like we on a short bus. The world is watching. Our people waiting for us to stand up and join the Moorish nation. Hey, where was y'all at in 1913? Hey, this is way before Martin had a dream.
Hey, hey.
Way before Elijah had fun. We was in the grave. The land of the Lord. Hey, where was y'all when he was on the milk? Hey, going hard on 35th State. Where was y'all God damn it, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. No more. So if I say it, I mean it. If I mean it, kill it. I say it. I understand, man. I'm a
Brother Shaw in 1913. This is when Paul Martin had a dream. Way before he learned to have fun. We was in the grave that ran up the guard. Brother Shaw, when he was on the beltway, going hard, a very different state. Brother Shaw, when he only had the flag, or anything that happened, the feds on his head. Hey, Brother Shaw, when the enemy tried to kill him, when they said he was a prophet, but still didn't kill him. When y'all back down, are you with me, are you down? It's time to stand up, the prophecy is down. Hey, the prophecy is down. Hey, the prophecy is down. It's time to stand up. It's time to stand up. The prophecy is down. Hey, listen, family. Without no further ado, first and foremost, I rise and give praise to the great God of the universal law. I give praise to Allah, the universal wisdom, the universal energy that allows me to breathe, that allows my heart to beat without plugging it in, without pumping my lungs up. It just happened. It just be and it is. That's the universal energy. That's the universal creator. That is the causeless cause and the rootless root from which all things have grown. We in the Moorish side simple of America express that in the vernacular of the Arabic language, Allah. But that's an Afro-Asiatic language if people want to research that. That's our language. Let's not get it twisted. With that being said, I give honor to all things pertaining to Moorish, all things pertaining to the uplifting of our people, and I give honor to each and every one of you in this chat, those that's here now and those that will come later, and a special honor to our most esteemed panel. Without no further ado, let me introduce a couple people to you real quick, because I'm pumped up and ready to roll. I'm looking at Brother Sharif icon. He got his little arms out, his little pecs out. He about to chop something up around here tonight. Woo! I'm excited. Hey, man, listen, let me tell you something. Hold on, let me calm down. Listen. I'm a stone, hardcore Moorish American. When I mean stone, I mean I'm just rough. I'm just rough around the edges. I'm just Moorish American. Like I'm an unpolished stone. You know what I mean? I'm like this Moorish American to the bone, right? But it's two things that get me excited. I'm gonna tell you that. Listen. Two things get me excited in the Moorish side simple of America. Sit me around some old heads that been around 20, 30, 40 years. I don't care how calm they are. I don't care how they verge off on their tangents, talking about what happened in 82. You let me sit with them. I'm telling you, I'm just good. I'm just like a child in a candy store. And another thing, sit me in front of some strong, intelligent, calculated scholars, understand the streets, understand the manipulative attitudes of this sovereign citizen thing, those that been in it, that got out of it, and those that defend the prophet. Put me with them. Oh man, I'm in heaven. Because you look at a brother like Divine L, he told me, he said, listen, man, I was right beside Taj making cabinets. You look at a brother Sharif, he says, man, listen, man, we made the judge get nervous. They ain't saying nothing slick. We had to teach the judges. With that being said, I want to thank real quick, brother, man. I'm really loving y'all today, man. Listen, somebody told me put the Cash App in, and I don't do this for money, but let me just thank right now Kyle. He sent a few dollars. Wilbert Smith, he sent a few dollars for the Cash App to support the Moorish Village. I salute you, family, even in supporting this broadcast. To put this together, you know, it takes time, it takes effort, it takes, you know what I mean? I got a family, so, you know, I got to stop this over here. Matter of fact, before I started the show, the sister woman was saying to me, the Moorish, she was saying to me, hold your son for a minute. I said, I got him waiting for me. She said, I said, they wait. I said, Brother Jonathan Davis waiting. She said, So you know, it takes a lot of sacrifice, fam. I'm real serious now. So I appreciate any donations that help keep the channel going, enhance the channel, help with the Moorish village. Whatever you donate, it is well appreciated. So thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Wilbert Smith. And thanks all of those who may donate during the remainder of this show. I appreciate you. And you are greatly, you're going to be, you will be, I tell you this, you will be satisfied as I produce what the prophet produced to the best of my ability by all the contributions that you and those like you have contributed. With that being said, let's get started. Let me see who is best qualified to give a historical account of this story as it relates to the sister Ninti El Bey. Let's see if we can start with our brother Brother Sharif. Let me ask him, Brother Sharif Bey, do you understand where this story got its feet? How did this happen? Do you remember?
Which particular Islam? First, I want to rise and give praise to Allah, the Father of the universe, almighty, eternal, and incomprehensible, but closer to you than your jugular vein.
Yes, sir.
You know, other people, you know, they practice religion to, I'll quote my brother Wesley Muhammad, because we feel the same way about religion. They practice their religion. Their idea of religion is to practice, is to follow or idolize or emulate God. We practice religion to be God. Man and Allah one. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to say that real quick. We're not spooked out. I want to give honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, last prophet in these days and times. I want to give honors to the forerunner, the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Give honors to the Moorish Science Temple of America, his strategy in obeying Allah and uplifting fallen humanity. I want to give honors to all past and present leadership of the Moorish Science Temple of America, because to take on this job of uplifting a dead people, crazy people, is a task in itself. So I want to give honors to them. You know, I want to give honors to my leader, Brother R. Jones Bey, the Moorish Science Temple, the Grand Sheikh and Moderator of the Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated. I want to give honors to my comrades, Ali's men, man. You know what I'm saying? From an intellectual perspective, my shooters. I want to give honors to Moorish World TV, one of the hottest platforms out there right now. I want to give honors to the founder of Moorish World TV, you know, my good brother, Tahar Bey.
Hey, bro, stop, brother, because listen to me. Brother, do you know? Hey, brother, we got our brother, our friend, Lord Merkel in the building. Shout out to that brother. I love that brother. I can't wait till he come back on the channel. Can't wait to see him at triple number 34 so we can ask, what's your nationality? But Brother Sharif, you know when you say my name, right? You make me remember that day when we met at the Prophet's gravesite, right?
For sure.
Salute, brother. I appreciate everything you do.
Absolutely.
Before we pass it on, I wanted to ask you, do you remember when this story right here got legs?
The which part of the which
Ready and Day. When the sister squatted in the house up there on what do you call that? Start with a P. Matter of fact, here we go right here. Let me show you. Let me screen share. Yes. This is the sister here.
Oh, Piper Glen. And Piper Glen.
Yeah. Do you remember when that story gained feet? And let me say this to the people. Let me set it up. Real quick, and then we'll pass it from you to Jonathan to my brother Divine Hill. First of all, family, we represent the Moorish Science Temple of America idealistically, and we're unified in our ideal approach of how this is supposed to work. I think I can speak for everybody who opened their meetings open and close their meeting according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. We do not endorse squatting in houses. We do not endorse recklessly driving the roads uninsured under the premise of right to travel. And we do not endorse any kind of reckless behavior that is deemed unlawful, you know, or people want to use trick language. We don't believe in breaking the law. Simple as that. Especially in a way that can injure people not only yourself but others, innocent citizens or innocent bystanders, if you will. So this case right here, it's dear to my heart because the sister carries the name El Bey. And so I need the people to know, I need the public to know that this is not a behavior that is perpetuated by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali or taught by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali and perpetuated by any member of anybody of the Moorish Science Temple of America. And if you find anybody of the Moorish Science Temple of America, let me know immediately and we will put them on Front Street. I will ask Sharif if he's a part or she's a part of your group. I will ask somebody from this group and we're going to get to the bottom of it. So with that being said, let's get back to our brother Sharif. Brother Sharif, do you remember when this story got legs?
Of course I do. I remember when the story took off, when the news, when the media grabbed it. I mean, there's a lot I can say about it. I think the brother Divine Hill is better to speak about more specifics of that situation. But one thing, I got a lot to say about this particular topic and about that sister in particular. I got a lot to say, but I don't want to monopolize the show. But I will start with saying this. The prophet said, he's reported to have said, I'm going to let the fire touch some of my good Moors. Now, let's not get it twisted. This is what that means. My brother and dear comrade, brother Mahdi McCoy Ill, a number of years ago was driving, and I'm using the word driving. I'm not saying traveling in his land conveyance, any of that other nonsense, right? He was driving to our first Ali's Men Brotherhood Summit. He gets stopped. He gets stopped for speeding. The trooper comes to the door and says license and registration, right? And he gives him his driver's license, and it says Mahdi McCoy Ill. The officer looked at his license and takes 2 steps back and unsnaps his firearm, and then says he looks at it again, and he looks at him, and so the brothers, brother Mahdi said, "Is there a problem, officer?" And the officer said, "I guess not. It's just I didn't think you people had licenses."
Whoa.
That's what he told him. And so, but one of the things that we know and that I'm going to talk about at length here on this show is that those that are classed as sovereign citizens, we'll talk about that. Law enforcement at the local level, state level, and federal level have an SOS on you. In other words, shoot on sight. So that could have very quickly potentially turned into the fire touching a good Moor. This man is obeying the law. And because of the nonsense that people like this sister and others are doing and promoting, innocent good people may get hurt. I have a problem with that because my children carry the name Bey. Other loved ones I have carry the name Bey. We don't do this thing for a paycheck like some other people. You understand? I'm not hustling the movement or hustling the faith like some other people. I raise my children based on it. It's a totally different thing for me. I see the brother Jonathan in the chat. Islam to the brother, man. I'll yield the floor. Peace.
Peace and love. So we got brother, I'm going to get to brother Jonathan in a minute. Brother Divine Hill, are you there, brother? Let me unmute you. You got to unmute yourself or I'm going to have to unmute you. Let me see if I can unmute you. I got to unmute because this is very sensitive when you, let's see. Oh, there you go, Divine Hill. I'm going to unmute you. Let me see. Are you there, brother? Divine Hill? You have to unmute yourself. Let's see. You are unmuted. Where you at? Matter of fact, let's get
Islam, brother.
Okay, there you go, brother. Brother, give us some history on this story as it relates to squatting in the house on Piperton. It's like, I don't know what that you know what I'm talking about?
Is
Say it again, brother.
I said, Islam, you talking to me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, brother.
Oh, nah. So the sister is very close to me in North Carolina. So, I had been following her for was she was coming up from up under the teachings per se. Like she was one of, she's not like a staff member or officer of the Moorish here too, or RB Bay publications, or Moorish Order Roundtable. She wasn't like a member like that, but she was more so like one of the Facebook followers. Right. And so I'm on Facebook, and then shot, sent shockwaves when during the Black Fez, and we know culture, that's a degree for those that know, but since Taj just puts that on, and decides to put that on, but then we know also in the Moorish culture that women do not wear fezzes. You see what I'm saying? And some people try to say it represents widowhood or something like that, but we don't go for that, and I'm pretty sure she's not that. So then it really came across when that she was bragging online about having a house, like some big mansion or something like that, or that that she had won like $1 million or something like that. And so then I started thinking, I said, well, hold on, if on the left hand she's saying that millions of dollars, not just $1 million, and then on the right hand she say, okay, she claimed a house, $1 million house. Right. Well, it would only make logical sense that if I got a couple $1 million and it's $1 million house, why wouldn't I just have enough money to put a down payment on the house or buy the house? If I can't buy it flat out, I at least got enough to get in there and put a down payment and then pay a mortgage. But of course, they don't want to pay a mortgage. And then, so that really caught my attention. So then that's when I really started to dig deeper and look at the story. And that's my portion.
Oh, okay. So our brother Jonathan Davis, are you there, my brother?
Peace, family, peace.
And let me say this. What makes it good about this is that Jonathan Davis is not a member of the Moorish Science Temple of America. I find him to be a very intelligent brother as it relates to common sense approach to what life is about. He was on the channel earlier called in, and everything he said is the principles what we strive to live by in the Moorish Science Temple of America as it relates to nationality. So with that, brother, why don't you introduce yourself, tell the people where you're from, and then give us an idea of what, how this story to you begin to get legs, and how did it jump out to you? How did you come in to be involved to be able to express on this topic right here?
Peace, family. So this is Jonathan Davis. Like I once was involved in sovereign citizen ideology, and I kept like hitting my head against a wall. So I had to figure out something better that I could have done or do that could possibly help me and my family out. So I started my journey, and I started to figure out that, that like a lot of the stuff that people are trying to do, it's not that it's wrong in the sense, it's just that the way that they're going about it. Filing liens, like there's what you call it, it's not a criminal act to file a lien, but you have to be a party to what you call it, that particular property or that particular contract, or whatever you're going to do, like you have to be a party to it. So like if I'm just walking down the street and I say, wow, that's a nice house, you know what I'm saying, like, and I want to go place a lien on that house, I can. But if that person takes me to court and then I go through the whole court process, and then the judge asks me like, listen, what's your claim to the house? And I, like tell the judge, let's just say like, yo, listen, I was walking past and I, like this is my land and I could do it. Like that's, like that doesn't count because then if that's the case, somebody could do it to me. So if I have a house and somebody's walking past my house and says, hey, that's a nice house, you know what I'm saying, I want to lien the house, then, and that person could do it too. You know, so we have rules, we have laws for like specific reasons, and they're there to protect us from people doing basically whatever they want to do, and that's the reason why they're in place. So as soon as I realized that, I had to just step back from a lot of the things that I was engaging in because they were not conducive.
Indeed, indeed. And so let's get back to Brother Sharif. First of all, one of the things that jumped out was, let's go from the back end first. The back end was the most recent thing that she has been trying to improve is that she won $1 million. She she squatted in the house.
Yes.
Then they forcefully removed her. Then after that, she sued them, and then she received this $1 million.
Right.
Let's go from the back end first, because that's the thing that has been hot on social media, that she won and that she won $1 million. Brother, what have you discovered as it relates to that? Because I know that you was engaging the sister respectfully.
Yeah.
Let's say
So,
just
so
because
you
it's a
know,
sister, that doesn't mean that we don't engage, because every engagement with this sister has been respectful. There has not been any disrespect. There has not been no slander. There's always been putting points out to show that you either represent this and it's fact, or show that you represent this and it's false. It's been no disrespect. So let's not get it twisted. With that, what you say, Brother Sharif?
Yes, sir. So, well, the sister has quite a following, or so she believes. She has quite a following, which I'll speak to a little bit later as well. Because of, there's a particular Facebook discussion board called Moors in America. Shout out to the brother and the sister that run it. And because of some comments by Moorish World TV and Brother Taharka Bey, the sister felt the need to get on that particular board to, show cause to her claims. So she gets on the board. The administrators allow her on the board, and she makes a post saying, "Yeah, I want to clarify and give my, and give my position on some of the comments being made by Moorish World TV. They've been slanderous. They slandered me, and they been disrespectful." And so she puts up a video, and then our brother, I believe it was the brother Divine Ill, asked her some simple questions, about her claims. So she posts this video and says, "Here's the proof that I own the property. Here's the proof that I was paid X amount of dollars." And it's a very lengthy video on YouTube. So, I'm the brother that, the prophet said, "Suspect not evil until thou seest it," right? So if you say, you're an airplane pilot, I'm looking for the airplane. I believe you. I believe you. So I just happened to have a few minutes. I said, "Oh, the sister says that she won this money. The sister says she owns the house legally or lawfully, and that the courts substantiated it. I'm gonna watch the video. I want to see." So I watched the video. Well, the fact of the matter is that video was a court proceeding, all right, but it was a proceeding initiated by her for unlawful detainment and imprisonment by the police department, right? I believe it was the city of Charlotte or Mecklenburg or something like that. And so she was the plaintiff, and the attorneys for the city were there as the defendant. And so the issue at hand was not whether she owned the property or not. The issue being dealt with in that proceeding was the legalities of her arrest. And what she was able to show was they were saying, well, you know, the police were under the impression that she was trespassing on property that was not hers. The judge pointed out that, well, that's going to be hard for you to prove, being that her claim is that she owned the property. And then the judge says, so how can, in other words, so how can she knowingly trespass on property she believed to be her own? Then the judge said, the validity of her claim is not in question here. That is for another venue. So her video in no shape, form, or fashion demonstrated that she owned the property. All it did was show that she was contesting, or she was filing for relief for being arrested. That's what it was. And at the end of the video, the judge granted the attorney a dismissal. But the reason why he granted the attorney the dismissal is because she improperly named a defendant. She named the police department when the police department is an auxiliary. In other words, provides law enforcement services on behalf of the municipal government. So what she should have done was sue the city.
And brother, if I can real quick, let me chime in. As you stated, she tried to use that video, and she sent the video to me, and that's how I actually just hit the link she sent to me. And that's this video. Where did I put it? That's the video. Matter of fact, forget the video. Let me show this. She was trying to show and prove that she owned the property. Right. Family, as you can see right here, here's the tax. See who owned this property right here. Right there. Kong Dang. Brother Sharif probably could pronounce this better than me, because he know some of the Asiatics of the Far East, and he probably could Kong Kang Nugent.
That's Vietnamese. Those are Southeast Asians.
Yeah, so but I'm pretty sure that you probably could figure that out before I could. I'm a butcher. You already know. We have to call Tunica L for me. You know what I mean? but the point is, the matter is, we see who owns this property right here. So there's no way that she can claim ownership of this property. Matter of fact, let me just be clear. Right here, again, there you go, Nugent. I'm gonna just use the term Nugent. This is the property right here. Right here. Now, as you can see, its appraised value is $763,000. But now, let's not forget the dates. The dates here are 9/1/17, 1/6/18. She's not owning it now. And she showed the video to try to confirm that she owns the property. And as Brother Sharif said, it doesn't even make sense, because the video doesn't even represent that. But here you go. 9/1/18. That's 2019. She still doesn't own the property. So the funny part to me is how people are flocking to this as if she has a legitimate claim of showing a bogus video that has nothing to do with her owning the property. Again, I can show you. Let me stop for 1 second. I can actually show you the actual, she inboxed me from Facebook, and I'll say, listen, this is what she says. Matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to read it to you. That's to make it more interesting. Matter of fact, you know what? To make it better and more interesting, I'm going to screenshot it. That way, you won't even think that I'm jigging, I'm moving, I'm playing games. Okay, let me screenshot it, then I'll pass it to my brother, because he has the video too, and he can explain some things in the video that I don't need to explain. He'll play it, and then it'll explain for itself. So let's see. Now, family, now watch how amazing this delusion is. Watch this. Give me 1 second. I'm just screenshotting right now so we can all see what the sister says to me. Library. Okay, Congress. And a lot of it is mumbo jumbo, so you're going to have to work with me, because she sent a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo.
Brother Charles.
Yes, sir.
While you're doing that, I'll read exactly what I said to the sister a day ago.
Indeed.
I said respectfully, the video of the court proceeding was not one regarding ownership of the property. It was a hearing on the legalities of the arrest, and the judge rightfully stated that, as per your own brief, reasonable doubt was created and that you stated you could not knowingly be trespassing if you believed you were occupying your own property. In short, this proceeding does nothing to prove that you are the lawful owner of said property, nor did the judge state the same, as that was not the instant matter in that proceeding. This was a hearing on your claim of false imprisonment. Also, the motion to dismiss from the police department was allowed by the judge because you mistakenly named them instead of the city, for which they provide law enforcement service on behalf of.
So basically, it was a failure to state a claim then.
For which relief could be granted.
Exactly.
There was no defendant, in other words. She didn't name a defendant.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So what I'm gonna do is to make it short, because she wrote like a whole paragraph and then she put the video in it. So let me share this with you, and then we'll go to my brother Jonathan Davis. So this what the sister sent me. Disclaimer regarding bad press. Do not be fooled. Moors, wake up from your slumber. I have made valid claims to the landmass. First of all, the housing issue in the news, Piper Glen, that's what I've been showing you, was conjured up by police and media. You follow me? Let me do it one more time. Let me get the screen share right. Make sure y'all see my screen share. Oh, I see what's going on. Let me get the screen share up. There we go. Let me get this right. There it is. Okay. My bad, family. Let me get this right real quick. So it says, disclaimer regarding bad press. Do not be fooled. Moors, wake up from your slumber. I have valid claims to the landmass. First of all, the housing issue in the news, Piper Glen, was conjured up by police and media. I had lawful arguments with banks, ultimately reclaiming abstract of Aboriginal and imperial title to North South Central Americas, filed at Library of Congress in year 2016. TXU-2-049-663 is one of the certificate numbers. Validity filed within Mecklenburg County Register of Deeds. For those who care to know the entire story and how it was played out, visit my YouTube channel. Now listen, she said visit my YouTube channel. This is the amazing part I'm going to show you in a second. And do not be fooled by the hype. The first thing your enemy does is try to defame your character in media. LOL. According to them, I'm locked up for 22 years, as some reports have stated. As you can see, I have not served one day. Believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. It is not a good look at all, but I have owned it. Deal with it. Then I don't know. I'm thinking she's referring to the property, but listen to this. When she says that, check her YouTube channel, family, look at this real quick. This is the weird part about this. Check my YouTube channel, right? Now, 1 second. Look at what she actually names the video. This is the insanity of it. If you're not a squatter, right? Why do you name your own video Ninti El Bey, squatter in Charlotte, North Carolina? If I'm not a squatter, why do I name my own video that? You understand what I'm saying? And this is the video that segues us into our brother Jonathan Davis. The same video that you see here, he is going to point out some key points of this video. You know, Ninti El Bey, squatter in Charlotte, North Carolina. That's crazy to me if you're not a squatter. With that, Jonathan, are you there, brother? The floor.
Yes, family, I'm here. So basically, I just want to touch on, someone having ownership of land. So no one on the planet owns the land outright to themselves. That's just not possible. Dictators do that. So I'm saying, unless you're a dictator, and that is going to take it by force, and you have the means to take it by force, then that's what you do. So one of the reasons why there is a government is because through the government, the land is controlled, and the citizens of that government can either use their brains and be elected into office so they can control a certain aspect of government, and that's how it's actually done. So no one owns the land, because then if you own a part of the land, that means that I'm subservient like to you. So it's impossible that one person owns the land. But I'm gonna go into this video right now. Can you see the screen share? Do I have
Yep.
to blow it up?
Absolutely, I can see it.
Do I have to blow it up or something?
No, you're good. You're good. You got the full screen in there.
All right. So basically, I'm gonna show you this video first, and yeah, I'm just gonna show you this video first. It's gonna go on for about like 5, probably 6 minutes, and the reason why I wanted to do that because I don't want people to say that, oh, that's not her. You know what I'm saying? I want you to hear her voice, hear her, and see her, and then you'll see what, like the prosecutor, I think her name is Jessica Battle. Okay, I'm gonna press play right now. Okay, can you hear me?
I hear you, but I don't hear the sound.
Okay, cool. I'm coming in right now. I'm coming in.
Ms. Battle,
Your Honor, we have to pay for authority
I'll consider.
departments. I have to go through a lot of other legal rigmarole because an attorney for the city decided to put something in the record contrary to what the judge actually said that day. So I'm still trying to work through that. If you pull that file, you'll see all of my contention on that and motions and everything else. But the actual visual tape of it, I posted it on YouTube. And I wrote it down. It's on one of those authorities. If you would like to see it, pull it up right now and see what the judge said. He dismissed it in part. As to the city of Charlotte and as to the police of Charlotte, I can come back.
If you need heard, Your Honor.
Hmm?
If I need heard.
Not right now. Go ahead.
The name of the video is Ninti El Bey has proof of organized crime syndicate. That's on YouTube, but that's the judge's whole entire, from beginning to end, what he said in court. It was not dismissed in its entirety, as Perlinger said.
Okay, now I'm just gonna skip forward a little bit because it's gonna, like it's too long. So I'm gonna skip a little bit. So hold on. That is, so we're gonna go to 28. Okay. Okay, let's take it to 29. And then Jessica Battle, which was the prosecutor. So basically, what had happened was, this is a case where I guess she's trying to go after the police, the individual police officers,
Right.
and all those cases have been dismissed. And so,
Isn't this the same case that she's been showing snippets to say that she was awarded something or beat something?
Right. And so what is happening here is she just lied and said, like in court, that she won the case. So after this whole thing is over, I'm gonna make this video public on the Moorish World group, and I'll make it public on my Facebook as well, and I'll even post it to my YouTube channel, so basically anybody can see it. Now, I will say this: I'm not the only one that has this video. If you would like a copy of this video, you can either contact me or you can contact the court. If you want transcripts of the court case, and that you believe that I, Jonathan Davis, am making this all up, you can pay $2. $2. That's 2 Federal Reserve notes. Go down to North Carolina, Mecklenburg County, pay the clerk, and they will give you the entire transcript. I think I think it's about like 20 pages, if I'm not mistaken, but they'll give you the entire transcript and you don't have to listen to me. So don't think I'm sitting here making this stuff up. You know what I'm saying? Photoshop this or nothing. You can go down to the court and you could ask them to give you a copy. I'm going to press play.
Pending and under review by the Judge Irvin because of the discrepancy that I have and to the court in the order that was written contrary to what the judge stated. And as I stated, if you need me to give you that YouTube or you can see what the full session of what the judge said. So.
All right. With that,
Your Honor, you have to forgive me. I only brought over the orders that I drafted this morning. I don't have the actual file on this matter at this time. However, I can say for the court, Your Honor, that the 2015 matter was dismissed in its entirety with prejudice by Judge Irvin. Mr. Richard Furlonger did draft an interim order that Judge Irvin initially signed. At some point, Ms. El Bey moved to set that order aside, stating that Mr. Furlonger had done an ex parte, that it was incorrect and that it was false and done fraudulently. They went back to that order. Judge Irvin then issued a second order, Your Honor, stating that his first order was true and was not done without any fraud and did not set it aside. So, Your Honor, despite what Ms. El Bey tells the court today, that matter is dismissed in its entirety. It was dismissed as to the City of Charlotte, the Police Department, Chief Kirk Putney, Lieutenants Kitchens, Pardue, and Lisenby, Defendant Michael Anderson, who was a defendant in this particular matter, and 16 other unnamed officers. So those matters are not pending. Your Honor, have been dismissed with prejudice in their entirety. Copies of the initial order are, I believe, Exhibit A in the defendant's motion to dismiss in this file. In regard to her criminal matters, Your Honor, I believe initially at the outset, some of the matters were dismissed because in working with the bank, I think the bank sent the wrong person to the magistrate to initially take out warrants, but then the proper authorities from the bank took out warrants, and those warrants were for trial on March 1st, I believe, of 2016 before Judge Hooper. He convicted her of 6 offenses. That's 2 counts of misdemeanor breaking and entering, 1 count of first-degree trespass, 1 count of second-degree trespass, improper registration, and fictitious tag. He convicted her of those judgments, Your Honor, and arrest warrants are, I believe, Exhibit B in the defendant's motion. Those matters were not dismissed. She did appeal all 6 of those matters. Contrary to what she said, she did not appeal closed or disposed matters. They were not closed at all. They remained open. And I checked moments ago, Your Honor, not even 5 minutes ago, by text message and confirmed with the district attorney's office that as of this date, those matters are still pending in criminal superior court. Your Honor, I asked.
All right, now you all heard it for yourself. This woman was convicted of everything. She was convicted of 2 counts of misdemeanor breaking and entering, 1 count of first-degree trespass, 1 count of second-degree trespass, improper registration, and fictitious tags.
That's it. Hey, bro, that really shakes it down. That's really
Listen. I'm gonna say this. If you don't believe me, all it takes is $2. Go down to North Carolina, Piper Glen. I think the county is Piper Glen, and you go down to the courthouse and you pay $2. And they'll give you everything from her, from her warrant, from the disposition, and it's not my word. So don't blame me. This is coming from the court. And
so we got a sister say she was charged, didn't hear convicted, but he just said she was convicted. But I will show you that convicted.
She was convicted and she accepted probation. She accepted probation. Which you can find out once you get the paperwork. Listen, no one wants to do 5-6 years, right? Especially if you don't have an extensive criminal record, the judge is really not going to give you those years. They're, you know, like they'll give you an option to accept probation or do the time. Now, when you pull the actual court paperwork, which is at the court, you will see what she accepted. So all this stuff about her saying that, oh, she's the empress, she beat them up in court. These people have documents where she signed that she accepted probation.
Absolutely. And matter of fact, brother, to your point right now, I'm going to share what the news media released on that. And what I did was just copy it, if I'm not mistaken. It says, she says, the court records show El Bey occupied the home on Kelly Woods Lane without authorization. Is this her? Is this the same one that get the Tuesday, she was sentenced to 12 months supervised probation and 48 hours of community service.
Now,
right?
if you know how probation works,
so here's Kellywood Lane, real quick, bro. Here's Kellywood Lane on the paper that I showed earlier. If anybody can see it, and it says it was clear that El Bey had studied state statute and came to court prepared for legal battle. However, many times Judge Donnie Hoover had to correct El Bey on her line of questioning and remind her of the court process. She said, I don't care what, now he said, I don't care what you're trying to get to. Keep things relevant to this case. You know, and so, again, as you look down here, Tuesday, she was sentenced to 12 months supervised probation and 48 hours of community service. She must also pay court costs and stay away from Piper Glen. So that's what the newspaper reported. Go ahead, my brother.
Now, check this out. She's up here selling fake tags, and she's also selling a book. Now, this is not me saying this, but the law, right? That's fraud. And if someone takes her to court, they'll be able to win because they'll be able to prove that she's done it in the past, and then she basically snitched on herself by what you call it, creating that book, and also by being convicted of trespassing in the past. So all the stuff she's talking about don't add up. It just doesn't add up. I'll play the video again if you want.
Now you good, brother. So listen, Islam to people real quick.
Islam.
Now let me ask you a question. Do you think it's okay for a person to go into somebody's house and say it's my house and just live there?
No.
Is that, do most Americans do that?
Mm-mm.
Who do that?
No one.
At the end of the day, family, this is what it's all about. You know, my son has to walk around as a Moorish American in this world. And so he shouldn't be victimized because somebody else is acting crazy. You know what I mean? Squatting in the house. Do you want to go squat in the house tonight?
No.
You sure?
Yes.
Why not?
Because.
You think I should go jump on the road real quick and just drive with no license and no insurance?
No.
Should I just let you drive with a piece of paper?
No, because I'm too young and it will be illegal.
It will be what?
It will be illegal.
It will be illegal. That's right. Islam the family, bro.
Islam.
Let me get back to the show. That's my man right there. That's my grand sheik right there. That's my grand sheik, Taj Amir. That's my grand sheik right there. With that being said, brother Sharif Bey, how you doing, brother? Are you there, brother? See my son, what happened is my son came to the chamber and started looking at me like, man, let me let him on the show. Man, he want to get on the show. He always trying to steal the show. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, brother Sharif, are you there? How about my brother Divine L?
Yeah, I'm here, bro. I wanted to keep in mind that the consensus among the anti-temple, sovereign immunity, diplomatic, Facebook, YouTube, RV Bay, Ana Yangwia, Maghrib Al-Aqsa Moors is that by you actually taking the sister's word and going to do the research and study would make you an agent, because you did not take it on face value, because she wears a black fez and claims to be a member of the Moorish Divine and National Movement. So she's going to try to use gender supremacy for social supremacy as an exemption to hide behind Act 3 to say, oh, well, you're harming me, or, you're speaking radical against me. When, you always tell people that they should study, and then study again or whatever like that. So I also wanted to let you know that, it's pretty clear and it's pretty evident of what's going on. You understand what I'm saying?
And
so I'm a fall back and listen in some more, but I'll chime in when I get some good points.
So let me say this. Two things that we must remember. First of all, when somebody says that they are a member of the Moorish National and Divine Movement, and they reference the term Moorish, anybody that is a dues paying card carrying member of any Moorish Science Temple of America, regardless of leadership, they should have a concern. Just like you see my son, many other people have children that can be victimized, by the misappropriation of the names, as Brother Sharif pointed out. And so we should be on top of that, off the break. We should not stand for that. We should not stand for someone jumping on the scene and calling themselves sheik or sheikas. We should not stand for someone jumping on the scene calling themselves adapts. We shouldn't stand for people jumping on the scene with L's and Bey and being law breakers. We shouldn't stand for none of that. Now, people might say, as my brother Issa said, he just said in the chat, he said, well, what about the Europeans that have been squatting for years? Family. My concern is the Moorish American. My concern is the Moorish American Muslim. My concern is the Asiatic. That inside my house, the house of Asiatics, inside my house, what one does affects me. Now, once we can get our house in order, then we can address the lawn. Like if we can clean up inside the house of the Asiatics or whatever, then maybe we can go outside and cut the grass.
Brother Tark.
But first, we got to clean inside the house. We shouldn't have people misrepresent and misappropriate the holy and divine teachers of Prophet Noble Drew Ali by name, principle, or action. We just should not allow that to happen. Brother Sharif, did you want to add on?
Yes, sir. I definitely do. First of all, I give honors to what the previous brothers just demonstrated. Again, for me, the large part of it is just the principle. One of the things that the brother Raphael said in the chat is spot on, and that is this. First of all, these dudes doing this squatting stuff, they didn't know what in the world. They didn't even know the words adverse possession until we said adverse possession. That's just a fact. What? And then secondly, this is not adverse possession what they're doing. It's not adverse possession. Don't they know in every state of the union, one of the major components of a successful adverse possession procedure is that you have to occupy the property for 10 years? 10 years.
Oh, my goodness, bro.
You guys are crazy.
Oh, my God.
It's not adverse possession.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Hey, Brother Tarker.
Yes, sir.
A point of interest to those who may still be of doubt and faint of heart. We may seem, we got to look at, okay, if we follow Noble Drew Ali and we're part of the Moorish Divine and National Movement, right? And that's the authority that we're trying to move off of when we do these things. Why don't we look at the thoughts, words, and deeds of the master who left his footprints clearly cut so that we'll know that he went that way? Exactly. So if everything that he said was spirit, of course, everything he did. So let's look at the footprints, because thus backwards through the ages, masterminds can trace themselves and thus they know. Did Noble Drew Ali ever claim any land? Did he claim any land?
Bro, matter of fact,
did he send any picture, and I mean any paper to say, all right, look, I'm here, this is mine, I got this, fall back, or it's gonna be some problems. Or did he buy land? That's my first question. Go ahead.
Well, you know what I'm gonna do, bro. You know, one thing that we must do in the Moorish Science Temple of America in this day and age is show and prove. So when we ask that question, brother, I love that question. Praise the Lord for that question, because this goes to my Canaan land Moors, brother. I don't have no problem with none of these brothers, for real. I just want you to know that if you say you study and you subscribe to the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, that it's imperative you know exactly what the Prophet Noble Drew Ali did, where he went, and what his footprints look like.
Right.
This here is from the first annual convention, and many people don't never see this because the problem is they're not able to blow it up and to be able to see. So many people have seen this picture many times. But when you look right here, right, what you're going to find is this. Something that you missed. Moors, members of the Moorish Science Temple of America celebrating purchase of First Temple grounds.
What?
1926. Yes, it says
purchase. They did what?
It's purchase. You see, these brothers got it twisted. And this is what I've tried to explain to the brother. Most people I'm trying to tell you that. Listen, purchase right there. Purchase. See, this is what I tell people when you're ready to challenge me. But the first thing I want you to know is bring yourself here so I can show you. You can't run from this. This is not something you can run from. You see what I'm saying? You can't run from that.
But see, that's the reason why they don't want to talk to you. Nobody wants to talk to you on the phone because they know half of the stuff that they're saying is not going to add up. So they'd rather talk to you on social media, Facebook, because they have an out, and the out is block. So if I don't like what you're saying to me on, like your group, I could just say, you know what, man, listen, I don't like what Taharka Bey's saying. Block him. Good. So now I don't got to hear it no more. I can continue my stupidity in peace. It's just crazy.
And you know what's funny to me? It's like a brother said on Facebook the other day. Taharka Bey says he's the only one that the Moors or something. What did he say? That he's the only one that the Moors will listen to or something crazy. Like, I mean, it was like super crazy. Did everybody get that screen share that I showed?
Yeah.
Like it was like Taharka Bey, he says that the Moors are going to follow him. That's what he told me. I said, bro, what in the world are you talking about? I don't believe in the Alibaba theory that there's going to be one amongst us to lead us all to promised land. I don't believe all of us going to make it. Period, point blank. I believe within the Moorish concept, we are going to be able to get along and move at a pace faster than we have been moving now that we have more information. But I don't believe we're going to be holding hands, singing Kumbaya all the way to the finish line. And
but brother,
I don't believe in that.
You got to also look at this, man. This is just the reality when people would come in droves and packs. Praise Allah for the Prophet being able to bring them like that. But he would ask the sheiks and the people in the front, like, what are all you guys doing here? Because ain't but a few of you gonna make it. You see what I'm saying? So you have to really sit down and do a needs-based assessment on yourself to reflect, what am I here for? Is it by aspiration, inspiration, or desperation? Why did I come to the Moorish Divine and National Movement? And if I'm going to claim to be a member of this movement, can I deal with the laws that govern said movement? Because I might not be able to handle not using profanity. So this may not be for you. And you just got to be real with yourself. You see what I'm saying? Like a lot of people's like, I want to be a part of this, because I want the birthrights and I want the treaties and I don't want to pay taxes. But they lack to see that, hey brother, look, ask your leader guy, what treaties did Noble Drew Ali himself use to do all the things that he done?
Exactly. And that's one of the things that we must look at. What in any practice that we see this sister or anybody for that matter that challenges the courts and that do all of these acts as it relates to challenging jurisdiction, whatever the case may be, why can't we find out of 30,000 Moors? Why can't we find that? That doesn't make sense to me. Out of 30,000 Moors, we should be able to find one case where when the Moors was in court, they said, I need to know your delegation of authority. Well, and whether it was under a different name, they should have some sort of challenge documented. It's a legal proceeding. We can find every other case.
This stuff is so easy. This, like, you only need like 10 people. 10 people with $1,000. That's $10,000. You use that $10,000. You go ahead, create that real estate LLC. One person out the group becomes the manager of the LLC, preferably the one with good credit, and then you use that LLC to purchase investment property. Now, as soon as you purchase that property, you fix it up and then you put people in it, and then you keep doing that same method until you own at least about 10 or 20 homes, and then you have enough coming in from those properties that it will cover the day-to-day. This stuff is not rocket science. This is the reason why the Mexicans come here, and this is why Trump and all those white supremacists don't like them. Before they come to this country, or when they come to this country, they're taking real estate classes. They out there getting their real estate license. They out there getting their security guard license. They out there getting all these licenses and using those licenses to create business entities, because they don't want to put it in their name because they can be deported anytime. So then they have children, and then they have children here, so their children can now put the business in their child's name. So even if you deport them, their children still own something here. And
Brother Jonathan, can I respond to that, brother?
Uh-oh.
Let me show you how deep that is. Hold on. Here's the problem. The reason why this is not happening in the Moorish movement, and especially with the people that we're talking about. They say the word nationality, but everything they're doing is diametrically opposed to nationality.
Facts.
Nationality involves organizing based on national identity. It is not just national identity. It implies the ability to organize and move forward as a unit based on national identity and common American experience. What you just described as nationality in function, that's exactly the Prophet's program. How crazy is it that it's a man who ain't even in the movement that can explain nationality better than pheasant turban wearing people?
Hey, bro, I told him that. Hey, brother Jonathan, is that the same thing I told you earlier on the show?
Yeah, yes.
The same exact.
You just gotta study the Mexicans. You gotta study the Jews. You study the Mexicans. You study the Asians. Every time you go into their community, you don't see black people working in their stores. You see their own people working in the stores, because someone was smart enough to come here, set the business up, and then they get their people in. And as soon as all their people in, the business is flourishing, and now they're even giving work to their own people. And then it's just doing itself over and over again. It's just duplicating. Next thing you know, 10 freaking 20 years later, they own Chinatown.
That's right.
What you trying to do?
That's
right. You're trying to create the Moorish village. Within 10, 20 years, if you start this process, you will have your own Moorish village. And guess what? You will have your own police department within the Moorish village. You will have your own fire department. You will have your own hospitals. You will have your own schools. You will have your own grocery stores.
Brother, what he sound like right now? He sounds like, what he sound like? He sounds like 1928 Moorish Guide newspaper, don't he?
You better believe it. You better believe it.
Don't he?
Do you want your own town? Do you want your own?
Table number 4. Hold on. Table number 4. 1,500 members, 2 grocery stores, a laundromat, and a printing press. owned by the temple. They employ their own members. Come on, people.
Hey, what the prophets say, that in connection with our religious aims and belief, that we must promote economic security, and that the preaching of economic security among us is by no means as widespread, as intensive as the circumstances demand.
Absolutely.
And he said that no other one thing is more needed among us at the time than greater economic power, better positions for our men and women, more business employment for our boys and girls, and bigger incomes will follow our economic security. We shall be secure in nothing until we have economic power. A beggar people cannot develop the highest in them, nor can they attain a genuine enjoyment of the spiritualities of life.
Now, to that point, brother, let me say this. Economic power and money in your pocket are not mutually exclusive. They're not. So what, you got money in your pocket? I know a lot of Asiatics. I know a lot of people a lot of Moorish Americans that have money in their pocket and think that they got something because they got money in their pocket. They don't know the difference between income and net worth. Economic power is the collective ability to spend in a discerning fashion. The power is not the dollar. The power is when, how, where, and with whom I choose to spend it with. That's what it is. That's a difference, man. This is what the prophet taught us, though. We've gone so far away from it. We got scammers now claiming that they're pushing towards economic security. How about that?
But you know what's, but see, like this is the reality. Eventually, so like my mom used to always say, each day the like a bucket goes to well, and one day the bottom is going to drop out. So she's playing this game, and it's fun. It's fun for a while, and she's going to make her money, and that's cool. But eventually, those funds are going to run out, and if you haven't established a structure, like, that is the whole dream of America. People come from other countries, and they are able to control the social and political environment within their own community. Look at the Arabs. Like, there's places in the Bronx, there's places in Brooklyn where that is all Arabs living there, and they control the economics in those communities. And it's gotten so good now that they have people in politics, and they're influencing government.
That's how it works.
And these are coming from outside the country. That is the beautiful thing about America, because you can change the policies of America if you come to America the correct way. That's the reason why Trump wants to cut off that flow.
That's a fact.
Because they're losing power. Because people are coming from other countries, understanding the science of America, coming here within 5 years, setting up their own community within 5 years, and then they're now controlling government, which now these Europeans are losing power to the Asians, to the Arabs, Latinos, to the Mexicans. They should be losing power to us.
Now, bro, to your point, go ahead, brother. Talk about it. This is your show.
I just want to say, bro, ain't no reason that you shouldn't be looking for a progressive Moorish Science Temple of America and make a contribution with your because there's
I was about to ask him what city he lives in, man.
Bro, they're so in line and in tune with the spirit of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali.
Hold on, brother. Now, this is what I want to say. What he just said, and the way the brother Jonathan is demonstrating, that is the example of the prophet's prophecy. They're going to be new Moors coming in with their eyes wide open.
There you go, brother. There you go. He tried to use that weird stuff. But let me share this with you. What I'm going to read is an article from the Moorish Guide 1927. It says, on Tuesday night, or 28, I didn't look at the date, but it's 27 or 28. On Tuesday night, was held a formal opening with many prominent speakers, among whom were Alderman Lewis B. Anderson. The last time you've seen these Moorish nationals deal with politicians on this level. This is the example of what we must do in today's world. So let me finish reading. Among whom were Alderman Louis B. Anderson, who delivered the welcome address to the delegates and visitors. Dr. C.V. Roman of McHurry Medical College, Nashville, Tennessee, was a pleasant surprise speaker who was in the city in the interest of the congressional campaign of Oscar the Priest. Honorable Daniel M. Jackson was absent because of business with the government at Springfield, Illinois.
Wow.
Was represented by who? Attorney Aaron Payne.
Not an attorney.
No.
Not an attorney.
Attorney Aaron Payne, who delivered a very forceful address touching on many things of interest to who? The Moorish Americans. Attorney Aaron Payne, who delivered a very forceful address touching on many things of interest to the Moorish Americans. Notwithstanding the fact, Honorable Oscar the Priest as well, let's go, Oscar the Priest as well, he outlined very simply but very forcefully the matters involved in the congressional campaign. One of the first Asiatics, now I cut it too soon, but the first Asiatic congressman who has entered into the halls of Congress for more than a quarter of a century. He reminded the audience that 28 years ages ago, Honorable George F. White, in his last address to that lawmaking body, told them that his leave will only be temporary and that it will only be a matter of time that he will return in the person of one of his brothers. Now, in the course of political events, the time presents itself for the return of the honorable man in the person of Honorable Oscar the Priest. You hear this science?
Wow.
Honorable George W. Blackwell, state representative and strong member of Temple number 1 of the Temple. But it says member of the Temple. He was a state representative, member of a temple. Explain the economic situation as it relates to Moorish Americans. And his was a very interesting address. The meeting was extremely enthusiastic. It could be easily seen that the Moorish Americans caught the spirit of the speaker and demonstrated it very dramatically. And I'll stop right there. The point that I want to make with that, and I have more that I will read. The point that I want to make it with that is that the Moors were movers and shakers, and we should be movers and shakers at this time within the construct of the political activity that is going on around us.
Point of interest, Brother Tarkin. So, as an outsider from the Moorish Science Temple of America, what you saying is, if you say those things right there, when we call you an agent because you're saying that we should be with those type of people and working with those type of people, that we're actually calling the prophet an agent. We're actually hating on him because the things that you're saying, if you was to say that today, we would draw back and be like, look, he's an agent. He's trying to mess with de facto defunct corporation. You see what I'm saying? But it's actually the instructions on how to run government by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the person that we claim to follow. And because there are some disinformation agents who are agent provocateurs, the rhetoric that they give is anti-temple or don't go there because they'll try to put you in slavery. And what they do is they hide the Moorish literature and the Moorish God editorials. And so they detour them a completely opposite direction from what the Prophet Noble Drew Ali intended the Moors of the Moorish Divine and National Movement to actually go. So they call us agents because all we will do is we only follow the rules, the regulations, the processes and procedures that Noble Drew Ali laid down for the Moors to keep their empire resurrected and to flourish.
Hey, brother, let me add this and then I'll pass it on. one thing we have to do is exactly what you say, is look at the example of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali and then duplicate it. And we'll be all right. You know what I mean? We'll duplicate it. We'll be all right. And so one time I brought the sister on my show, and I get a lot of flack from this from the Moorish National. The sister Akeisha Shabazz. I bring her on the show, and she comes on the show just to express her experience in dealing with those who challenge court under the Moorish concept, if you will, or the more national concept. She didn't endorse the Moorish Science Temple of America. I didn't endorse her. And they called me an agent because I bring on a show just to express her experience of dealing with this sort of behavior. But now listen to this. I want to share another article with you real quick, and I yield the floor. This article right here, right, is not that one. I hope y'all can see it. Hold on. Let me stop screen share for 1 second. This article right here is about a brother who was accused of marrying people and charging money, selling people into to be wedded. But now listen to this. And we need to pay attention, because this is how we're supposed to move when we find ourselves in difficult situations against, as they like to call, the colonizer. This is how we're supposed to move. It says, T. Crumley Bey, Pittsburgh, disciple of the Prophet Drew Ali and Grand Governor of the Moorish Science Temple of America, 1709 Arcana Street, who got in wrong with police, first by promising his Moorish congregation all the wives you want. Now, this is a quote unquote for $10. This is a quote because this is what they accused him of. Second, for selling positions for what ails you, selling potions for what ails you. And third, remember, these are quotes, these are what Europeans are charged them with. And third, on charges made by his wife against him and one of his female parishioners, wound up in legal affrays yesterday in criminal court. Mind you, he's in criminal court. Now, let's see if he asked for jurisdiction and all that. Let's look. A vindication is the way Bey expressed what happened in court. He had been arraigned for trial on his wife charges, along with Anna Mae Johnson, his co-defendant. His attorney, there you go, Divine. His attorney, Albert Martin, not Martin Bey, not Martin L, not Ali. His attorney.
Who's attorney?
This is Crumley Bey.
Okay.
His attorney, Albert Martin, whom he had retained on a yearly contract to fight all legal battles, because you know when you demonstrating this science, they are coming for you. So he retained him on a yearly contract to fight all legal battles incident to the operation of his congregation, was ready with defense. District Attorney Samuel H. Garland was ready with prosecution. But no witness showed up, and the wife, Miss Neen Crumley Bey of Blithedale, Pennsylvania, apparently had vanished with her 6 children. The case was thrown out on a motion of the district attorney, and the Bey was free to go back to his congregation. His legal tilts for the time being over. When arraigned last June before Magistrate A.D. Brandon in Moore's Court, the Bey vehemently denied his wife charge. It's contrary to the principles of my faith to be faithful to my wife, he said. He didn't ask for a delegation of authority. He didn't ask about jurisdiction. He vehemently looked the European in the face, the magistrate, and said, it is contrary to the principles of my faith to be unfaithful to my wife. And his attorney supported him in that endeavor. And guess what? He went the way of the righteous people. Off to freedom he goes.
Wow.
There you go. So
there it is.
So this sister, Ninti El Bey, back to the point of her, she is doing all sorts of stuff that is out of the construct of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Number one, she's creating fictitious names and that's called companies, if you can see. So she can swindle people. Right here is where she assumed business name is Blake Halkworth, Ramzar, Yayan Boaz El Bey, right? So she used these names as businesses to move and swindle homes and whatever. So, but Ninti El Bey, you see on the bottom here? Who filled this out? Ninti El Bey. She just did this in May 2018. That's one name she has right there. Here she go with I got another one, but she got a whole list of names. Right here is where she didn't show up in court. This is November 2018, where the plaintiff complaint on face reveals the absence of facts, a relevant legal theory sufficient to make claim for which relief may be granted. Plaintiff complaint was filed for improper purpose, is frivolous and lacking merit in violation of the NCRCP. In this case, she had filed a lien, and guess what? Let me show it to you. Defendant Charlotte Investment Home has no ownership interest in the property, and the issue in the complaint is therefore improper party. She filed a lien on the wrong owner of the property.
Yo, Taharka, let's be real. Let's be real. What's gonna happen is, there's gonna be people.
Crazy.
There's gonna be people that's not gonna listen to you, and that's cool because certain people have to feel it to believe it. And so those people are gonna go out, they're gonna do all the stuff that she's telling them to do, and they will hit the brick wall. Once they hit the brick wall and they find out, hey, listen, this stuff didn't work for me, she's gonna have more people on her ass than me and you. So let her keep doing that. Let her keep doing it. If that's what she wants, guess what? That's what's gonna happen because she's gonna find the right one. And she's gonna find the right one that's gonna place that's gonna go to court, get a judgment on her, and then once you get the judgment, then that's when you can file the lien, because that's actually what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go to court, get the judgment, and then based off of the state that you're in, this like the state may say, okay, listen, you could lien these types of assets. So if she has any cars in her name, if she has any homes in her name, that person will be able to place a lien on her. And when she finds the right one, we're gonna see her once again in the news, because if you call the news media down there, they'll talk to you because I spoke to them. So you know what I'm saying? Like, let her continue, because she needs to find that right one. Once she finds that right one, all this is gonna come out, and then that's when you're gonna see people start to be like, well, that's not what we were saying doing, but it's okay because we got the screenshots, we have all the proof, and so when they hit their head on that brick wall, then we have to hold them to it because that's what you said to do.
Excuse me, brother. Point of interest. The problem is these people are not good card players. They're not watching the board to see what cards have already been laid and what books have been made. Obviously, she has no spades in her hand because on record, she did not win any of them lawsuits. On record, she did not own that home. On record, she lost the home and went to jail. On record, she got out of jail and got probation. You see what I'm saying? Oh, also, it's on record that the right to the travel issue does not work for her as of yet. So what people have to do is learn to watch the board, fall back and say, okay, Islam, I hear you, but I'm going to need to see some proof. I need the black and whites before I actually put myself, my children, my home, my life, my job at risk for you to gas me up and then go out there like a crash dummy in a lab rat. See, You see what I'm saying? Because once you go out there, they will treat you like the CIA does a spy. Like, oh, look at the lone wolf. We don't know her. The same way that the RV Baymoors had did Corinne Gaines, L, supposedly. You see what I'm saying? Because they know you while you're on Facebook and while you're doing this and saying, I'm gonna do this. Now I'm going down to the post office, now I'm going to the courthouse. They know you then. Then when you locked up, oh, she didn't do it right. Oh, she did not study. Oh, she did not stand her square properly. Oh, she was supposed to say this. Oh, and when they said this and did this, she was supposed to do this and say that. Or so she was supposed to sign it like this.
And then tell her to do, that's the thing. That's the thing that's crazy to me. If they're going to say that, if that's going to be their argument, then why didn't you go down there? You're supposed to be your brother's keeper. That's what you talk about.
Because they're gonna say, if you think that, and I read their post, if you think that I'm gonna come to your rescue every time you enter into hardship or adversity, you got another thing coming, because you cannot be lazy. You must do your due diligence to protect your estate, your vast estate trust, like everyone else. And I don't get paid to do this or whatever like that, because it's a way to waive liability morally, because of what you got someone into for following the instruction and the directions that you gave for something that you say you do that works, that they never actually seen you do. And because they believe in it and never even asked you, you know that they're vulnerable. You see what I'm saying? So they're wide open for a scam. Boom, right there. And then now when something happens to you, I don't feel morally responsible. Now, my thing is to the victims that go through these things, who's going to take care of your children? Who's going to take care of your lights? Who's going to pay your rent? Like, who's going to put gas in your car, get your children to school? Like, you don't think about none of these things of everyday life that you have to get going. All you're worrying about is going to the post office to use $5 to get a certified mail stamp to send this and ink and color, and it's got to be the right size and it's got to have seals on it. Like, that's all you're thinking about, but you're not even thinking about real life.
Brother, I want to add on to that. Shout out to brother Sharif, man. We've been a tag team for quite a minute, brother. And what happened is that one brother, and you probably remember, and I know Jonathan Davis remember, this brother was rolling with Rise of the Moors up in there in Rhode Island. And this brother, you and brother Jonathan Bey assist in one of the shows. And I pointed out that the brother that was representing the Rise of the Moors was out of order, out of character, know nothing about the Moorish Science Temple of America. And I used that picture where they got the background of City Hall, wherever they were at. And so some brothers that was in that picture called me because I said, these are agents, Rise of the Moor agents. I put on the caption. And so the brother reached out to me, and this happens to me all the time. The brother reached out to me yesterday, and I finally got a chance to talk to him right before the show. And basically, we pieced it up because he felt some type of way that I called him an agent. He was genuinely looking for something better than what he had found in life as it relates to spirituality, nationality, identity, and it led him to these Rise of the Moors guys in Rhode Island. But he came to see that it wasn't what it was cracked up to be. And so some kind of way he got in touch with brother Sharif, or brother Sharif got in touch with him. And now he's a part of study group under temple number 11. So the point I'm making is this is not done for those who are diehard supporters of this madness. This is done for those who think their conditions can be better. This is done for those who are young and really eager and hungry to be awakened to who they are. And they don't get caught into the trap of the misinformation. Because as the brother Jonathan says, she's going to go and do what she do. It's going to catch up with her. But what about the one that's really hopeful and they don't know? If they don't have an alternative to choose from, then what they're going to do? They're going to choose what they have on hand. And that's so right. That's purpose of Moorish World TV, my brother. You may know who I'm talking about, brother Sharif.
Brother Talk, I know exactly who you're talking about. And I just want to speak real briefly to that brother. That brother's got a beautiful spirit. And
Yes, he does.
And he's got a beautiful spirit. And here's the thing. The prophet, when you look at the pictures of the prophet, you see the people around the prophet, he was around somebody. Everybody he was around was somebody. They were already somebody. They had made themselves useful to society.
Yes.
What we have now is just the opposite. You got people that basically their address is their grandmother's couch. But on Facebook, you know what I'm saying? Their grand poobah empress, queen, king, whatever. But my point is, this particular brother that you're talking about is a somebody. He's a self-made somebody.
He's solid.
He is a solid brother. But guess what? He's like us, brother. He's like the thieves and the courtesans that Jesus sat with at the feast. They knew they were sinners, but they were sitting with Jesus soaking up that wisdom, not because they were scared of reputation, not because they were feared God or force of arms or feared death or jail. They were doing right simply because they were tired of doing it. That is spiritual advancement. That's called growing up. You know what I mean? Now, this sister Ninti El Bey, after impressing all these other people who are impressing all these other dudes and people, comes on that Moors in America board and gets dismantled in less than 12 hours, and then runs backwards throwing rocks and then making death threats on Facebook, bro.
Yeah, hey, bro.
This is the thing that's crazy, though. This is the thing that's crazy. And you don't think that law enforcement is watching these?
Absolutely.
You don't think they monitoring Facebook? You don't think they monitoring Instagram? They have specialized units out here in New York. There was actually like a news, they did a news show, and they actually hired somebody from the CIA that is now a liaison with the NYPD.
That's actual fact.
And actually what they do is they monitor social media.
That's right, bro.
And what they're doing is they're actually building cases. They're not gonna see what law enforcement is gonna do is they're not gonna get you for 1 lien, 2 liens. They trying to get you for 10, 20 years. So if they gotta follow you for 5 years and let you rack up time, they're gonna build a case. And so when they go to court, they know damn well they're gonna win because they built the case over 5 years. So listen, let her do what she wants to do. Let her make all those posts. Let her talk about them tags because she is already in the system and has been convicted. So they're gonna keep building the case. They're gonna use her to get other people, and then they're gonna come down and swoop down on everybody. So she's actually the agent.
Brother, that's actual fact. We've been telling these people for years that, and they should see the writing on the wall when Trump got in office. And one of the first things he did under his administration was take the KKK off the security threat group list, and then the FBI under his watch creates basically COINTELPRO 2.0. The BIE designation, Black Identity Extremist designation. Come on, Black Identity Extremists. Who do you think they're going after? Come on, people.
And now that's terrorist. So that means that the Patriot Act, basically applies to you. So they don't have to give you no lawyer. They can hold you indefinitely.
Thank you, brother. As a matter of fact, they would consider you an enemy combatant. You might be going to Guantanamo Bay, not the state courtroom.
Voluntarily. You're doing this to yourself voluntarily. No one is forcing you to go out there. No one held a gun to your head and said, listen, file this freaking lien. No one's holding no gun to nobody's head. You're doing it voluntarily. So when you buck up with the real gangsters and they do some real gangster-ish to you,
right,
you're in that position because you put yourself in that position. Freaking put a gun to your head.
That's right.
Gun to your head.
And then that status, keep in mind that they surpassed the gangs. It took about 30 years for them to start catching on and having the RICO Act for racketeering.
Actual fact.
You see what I'm saying? So how did you pass the gang members as security threat groups all the way to domestic terrorists and black identity extremists, terrorists and extremists? Like that's stuff that the U.S. military and Department of Homeland Security deals with. You see what I'm saying? So it's a very dangerous game. And then you're teaching people to reject their birthrights as citizens of the United States of America.
That's right.
And so you're definitely going to indefinite detention because you see what I'm saying? So that's going to be a hard one when they come 4 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m. in the dead hours and just come in and get people and just snatch them away.
And this is how delusional our people have become. Let me share this with you. This is just in 14 minutes ago on the page, on the advertisement of the show. Thank you for helping me to sell more books and t-shirts. When Moors actually come to my page and read what I'm really about, makes you look like an ignoramus that you really are. Wonder how much the feds paid for this advertisement. I hope it was worth it. Like I said, the spirits and the ancestors are on you as we speak. Yep.
Can I speak to that? Can I please speak to that?
Let me tell you
we
something.
are our ancestors today without a doubt or a contradiction. They are in us. We got, in our Moorish American prayer, we got Allah, the Father of the universe. You know what I'm saying? We got the cherubim, we got the seraphim, we got the angels, we got the Elohim. So all that scary, spooky monsters of the netherworld type of innuendos, like those fall on deaf ears. You understand what I'm saying? So I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah. Brother, let me just share this.
Go ahead.
It's just a shame when you look to the left how beautiful this sister is.
Yeah, very beautiful.
See what became of her.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Look at this sister, man. Just take a deep look at this sister, even sisters.
Higher self.
And look what became of this sister.
Lower self.
This stuff is madness. This stuff is madness. It has changed her whole glow.
Slower rhythm.
You look at her on the left and you look at her over here, and of course you're going to have a certain look about you when you're facing the Romans, if you will. But you can even look in this picture here. She was a different person.
Brother,
lines of toil in the brow.
I want to touch on the picture. I want to touch on what you on the point of the picture and what the brother Divine Ill just said is about this curses and spells and all this other nonsense. First of all, we belong to a religious organization that treats religion scientifically. So
that's right.
And then as the brother pointed out, the ancestors are on our side because the ancestors are us. The prophet, to paraphrase, reattached the broken links and connected us to the higher powers. You know what I'm saying? That's the saving power that comes from Allah through our ancient fathers by his prophet. I know it sounds real sexy to you all when you all hear us, give praise and honors, man. That's what we're doing. That's an invocation. Us. That's what that is, people. That's protection. That's armor. So now I'll share something with the sister if she's listening, because I know she is, and with everybody else as it relates to the science of spiritual matters. If you send out a thought, a destructive thought, thoughts of things, thoughts of living things, and if you send out a thought, a destructive thought at someone, that thought, first of all, has to be formed and shaped by the same negative energies in you. Send it. Now, if the other person is armored up and G'd up spiritually, guess what that thought's going to do? It's going to come back to origin. It's going to revisit you. Now you see what you're looking at those two pictures.
Boy, that's the science right there, brother Sharif. Sharif, you know you ain't supposed to tell that that's add that. No. The old boys say they're not ready for that. You don't talk that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna silence you. But brother, that was excellent. Let me share this before we get out of here, because I think we did this a good justice. I want to share something real quick. I remember a few years ago, 3 years ago, when I thought about doing Moorish World TV. And the Moorish World TV is very important. And anybody who has a knack for getting the information to the people with the platform that is provided throughout social media, wherever it is, I encourage you to do it so we can get the ultimate real truth out. I remember Brother Sharif, Lord Abba, and those are the main ones that I can remember. It was probably more Lord Merk L came and picked up the rear. But I remember Brother Sharif would stand on 125 by himself. And man, he would stand up there and defend the prophet, the philosophical approach of the teachers of the prophet, Noble Drew Ali and the Moorish Science Temple of America, going for dolo.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, I mean, like, I got to share this real quick. Like, you look at this video right here, right? And right here,
Yeah.
he's going in.
You see the look on his face? You a Hebrew brother? I'm everything that's up there. Praise the Lord, praise the Lord, praise the Lord, praise the Lord. But see, this is the problem right here. This is what doesn't happen. Right?
You
He
see?
looks different. He sounds different. He has a different doctrine, right? So that means we're automatically, but no, I'm not gonna rock with this dude. You see what I'm saying? But that's the real issue. Yes, sir. In other words, excuse my language, niggas want to be niggas. We want to say.
Sorry about that, Brother Sharif. I got to keep it going.
So we got all kinds of organizations and no organization at all.
But let me tell you this. Brother Sharif steps into the lion's den, if you will. My good brother, Sinetta, would try to arouse the emotions of those around. And if you ever look at these videos from 2 or 3 years ago, Brother Sharif is going for dolo. Boom, boom, boom. And then you got Lord Abba going for dolo. Boom, boom, boom. So, family, my point is this. I used to sit back and watch this. And I'm like, man, they would attack Moors. I'm like, man, we need to have an outlet where we can have a foundation to build from and stand strong. And you got to come to us or we'll bring the fight to you from here. And this is one of the purposes of Moorish World TV. So we can eradicate this misinformation. Many people may not like how I do it, but guess what? When I came on the scene, they was hooping and hollering and talking crazy. So for me to create a lane, I'm going to use my real personality, because I'm a hyper person of the ADHD generation. I'm going to use my real aggressiveness, because I will put hands on you if necessary. And we are going to make a lane so brothers like Sharif can come through unobstructed. Brother Tunica L, Mahdi L, Brother Azim Hopkins Bey, Divine L, Jonathan Davis, Ali Bey, Lord Abba, and whomever else can come through. And you say you're going to listen to us now. And that's just what it is. So Moorish World TV is a platform that favors Moors who try with the best that they have to do it right according to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. That's what this is about. Because without Moorish World TV, these platforms would have wheels. And I'm talking about the platform of a Ninti Bey, the platform of a Taj Tariq Bey, the platforms of a Moors that don't even represent, not even by a inkling of a thought, the teachers of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And
me personally, man, I wish you would start a news media. And
hey, Brother Jonathan, I just put the link in there to say support the Moorish Village. Within the next few weeks, I will be broadcasting from the Moorish Village when we open the first location, general headquarters. We're going to have the studio. We're going to be broadcasting from there because the Moabites don't like me hooping and hollering in the house. So I got to go. And we are going to have a new set. We're going to have a new everything, and we are going to. I'm talking to my brothers, brother from Ohio. He's going to help me get on a cable network, and we're going to another level within a few months. We're going to have a set where you'll be able to see Baltimore in the background live. So I was going to surprise. So, brother, that's what I'm aiming for now. I didn't choose this. This chose me. And we are going to take it as far as the people will allow and support. And I honor you, brother. I'm telling you, brother, I think you should do a little bit of research into the Moorish Science Temple of America and see where you can fit in, because, brother, you would be a great addition to any temple. You are very progressive, and you are principled on what the prophet principles
Actual
are.
fact, brother. Actual fact. That's fact.
And I never try to proselytize the people. I say choose it or let it go. But brother, the way that you have spoke here earlier today and the contribution that you make on social media, brother, you are right there, brother. I'm telling you, I know Moore's been around 20 years, 10 years, 5 years. Brother, they clueless. They clueless. I gotta argue with them some of these basic points. Brother, you blessed, brother. And that's something you should want to consider, because it's going to take organization to get us up out of this. But in closing, let me yield the floor to my brother Divine L, and then you can pass to brother Jonathan, and then Jonathan, you can pass it to brother Sharif with any closing remarks. Divine L, the floor is yours, brother.
Yes, I just wanted to, tie it back to the prophet for a second. Blessings be upon them. That what you're doing, the spirit behind Moorish World TV, because a lot of people try to downplay you and say that what you're doing is not of the prophet, and we often hate this. We don't talk about the side of the prophet that call people's scorpions, snakes, and lizards. The type of Jesus that flips over the money tables and put his foot down and call people bad teeth. So I just wanted to, remind you that the prophet has said that we're not asking others to give these records to the world for us, but we demand that such records be broadcasted to the four winds by us and for us. So we're not asking Sinetta, we're not asking the European or whatever to tell our story. We are now taking the collective unity to create a medium that we can broadcast our records, our words, our thoughts, our speeches, our deeds to the four winds for us and by us. And with that, I just want to give a shout out to my temple number 39, Raleigh, North Carolina, Grand Sheik Nazir Ma'il, Grand Sheik is Hope Ma'il, to my Moabiters, Jacqueline Lang Il, to the brothers on staff here on the panel, to all the Moorish Americans abroad, here, there, and everywhere, from the elders to the young and unyet born. To the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, to the Honorable Marcus Garvey, to the Allah, the Father of the Universe, Islam.
Islam, my brother. Brother Jonathan.
Yeah, man, I just want to appreciate you for bringing me on the show. I appreciate you, Sharif, and Divine L. I'm saying? I was warring with you for a while, like the hard. Me and you were going back and forth. What was it, like last year or like a year and a half ago? But actually, what you call it? Going through that with you, made me want to, like come into like the knowledge. If you say. So like it actually, like steel sharpens steel. Like so I remember like in the Marine Corps, like if I was doing something wrong and someone checked me on it, I just gotta, suck it up and just take it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you actually did.
Real quick,
I had to go check myself, and I had to say, well, listen, I need to be doing things in this manner versus this way. And like we call it you too, Sharif, because you checked me, I think it was like 2 years ago when I was talking about that right to travel. Like you came and you said something to me that actually made me go research it, and I actually went into the history of why we have a license and why we need it. Because if you really look at it, like if you don't have no registration, no plates, so basically I can go hit somebody and then nobody can track me down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I I can go kill your child, and then I could just speed off and say, hey, and if someone tries to look look for the car, they can at least say, okay, listen, he had tags 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what I'm saying? Like that person could just hit somebody, drive off, and nobody knows anything. And it's, you know, like in a civilized like society, we can't act like that, yo, because we have children, we have parents, we have mothers, we have girlfriends, we have wives that, you know, if something happened to them, we'll feel some type of way if the police say, well, listen, we can't do nothing for you because we don't know who this person is.
That's right.
That'd be a power, man. That will break somebody's heart.
Yeah, like,
yeah, bro.
It'd be a free for all. It'd be a wild, wild west.
Yeah.
Hey, brother, and I gotta say this to you, brother. I remember last year, you were one of the ones that used to get me frustrated because you were so tight with it. Many of them don't do their homework. They just parakeeting. But you actually did research and find ways to defend what you were talking. You used to get me tight, boy. But
I went to debate school, man. I went to debate school, so like I know how to debate. And I know how to draw you in to what I want you to talk about.
Indeed,
you know what I'm saying? So, you know.
And I come up in a city. Baltimore is, man, woo. I can say that a million times. Baltimore is a very colorful Moorish American town. Yeah. And you come together for one thing, you be leaving debating. It's all, I tell you, it's very colorful here. So I tell you. So I definitely was prepared, my brother. Any shout outs to the people?
Yeah, man. Yo, like, shout out to Moorish World. You know, Sharif and Divine, Saba. You know, like, you all really been cool stand-up brothers. So like, you know what I'm saying, I have nothing but love and respect for you guys.
Indeed, appreciate you, bro. Peace and love. How about my brother Sharif and Ninti El Bey?
Yes, sir. Well, first, man, I like, you know, we, you know, as Moorish Americans, it's not a choice for us. We have to show love, and we have to, you know, nationality is about demonstrating that love at all costs. So I already have love for my brothers, but I gotta say, for the brother Divine Ill and the brother Jonathan Davis, man, you in my eyes, y'all's respect points, your stock went up crazy. You know, praise the law for both of you brothers. And to your point, brother Jonathan, about, you know, the argument or whatever, you know, that we do as brothers and sisters, if we do it in the best of spirit, if we do it within the 5 principles, all is well. But what that means is that you don't waste your time arguing with the insincere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You see, for if you would have said something to me that made me go back to the books, I'd have to call you back and thank you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's how it's supposed to work. A lot of times when I'm online with these guys, it's, you know, I'm not even, you know, initially it's, I want to speak to the sincere part of them. But if they put that guy to bed, then anything I say to them after the fact is not even for them. I'm using them as a backboard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To bounce
for
off
the other people.
Yeah,
it's for the ones like me that actually was like, oh shit, oh, like, you know, like he said this. Okay,
right.
Cool. I'm gonna go research this. Oh
yes,
man, he was right. It does make sense. Okay.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be out here looking crazy when it's right here in my face. So okay, let me just do it.
And see, that's sincerity, and it's sincerity that opens the doors to the mystery. You ain't sincere. Yeah. I don't care what books you got. You ain't getting nothing. You know, and that's what it is. Sincerity is where it's at. But then just on this show, I'll just give some closing words. You know, we're doing this to in our Quran questionnaire. It says, what people represent the higher self? And the key first words are the angels who protect.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? I like how in the Matrix, you know, Seraph, I like how he said it. He said, then what are you? He said, I protect that which matters most. You know what I'm saying? And this thing is worth protecting. What the prophet brought is worth preserving and protecting. That's what it is. And those who have the spirit of sincerity and then the willingness and the ability to protect it to protect it on behalf of those who are at the mercy of those who have no mercy in their hearts for them. And that's what we're dealing with inside. You mentioned the brother Divine Ill mentioned the degree of Jesus going into the temple, broad daylight, and putting his foot in the backside of all the money changers. That's the demonstration of the day right now. That's the demonstration of the highest self, of the angels that protect. You know, if they want to call us agents, hey, all is well. You know, at the end of the day, Allah knows best, and they'll see. The prophet is reported to have said a sword and a 45 are going to make understanding fly. You don't want to listen now? Let Rome tell you. That's all I got to say. Peace.
Peace and love. And family, and close, let's see how many people in the chat. Let me tell you something. I want to give a shout out to the Moor Science Temple of America, styled as the Noble Temples. That's the group of Moors that we study with, we learn with, we grow with, and try our best to imitate the Prophet Noble Drew Ali in speech and teach and all the efforts that we put forward. I want to share with y'all a few things. One thing is, number one, this is for those nationals that come and try to peep. So, and try to get a concept, a genuine concept of what we stand for. So this is what we do in the Noble Temples. We look at exactly what the Prophet demonstrated. So, and I would encourage all Moorish groups, people who are studying temples, whatever, just look at what the Prophet demonstrated. So this is the Moorish parade. Check this out. On the Moorish parade, it says, on Wednesday at 2 o'clock, more than 3,000 Moorish Americans in Moroccan costumes, each carrying a flag of the nation of their forefathers, which is the Moorish flag, and the American flag on their right. Brother Sharif, did you just say? Brother Sharif,
you starting trouble, bro.
Did you hear what I just say?
You starting trouble.
Did you hear what I just say?
Yes, sir.
Divine, did you hear what I just said?
You starting trouble.
Yeah, because you was called an agent because you had the flags on the wrong side. So you was an incompetent agent who don't study. You're not a real Moor because of you had the flags. You had the flag just how the Prophet and the Moors had the flags, so you was called an agent who didn't study for that.
What does this say? Do the Prophet own this paper? Who owns this paper?
The Moorish God.
Owner. I'm going to read
Nope.
it again. Brother Sharif, the reason why I'm pointing this out, Brother Sharif, because a brother got on a demonstration and he said, brother, can you prove that the Prophet had the flag like this? Why you got the flag like that? You're an agent. I know you heard that before, Brother Sharif, right?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Bro, I'm going to read the article again. See, one thing about me, Brother Sharif, I've learned from you. I've learned from Edwardsell. I've learned from Ali Bey, Grimion L.
Yes.
Azim Hopkins Bey, Tunica L. I didn't see how y'all research, but I asked myself, how did y'all arrive at that? How did you arrive at that? Because no one can knock you off. So I need to find out. If I don't want nobody to knock me off, I'm going to have to arrive to a truth the same way my brothers arrived, where no one can knock them off. I gotta have uncut raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. Let's read again. It goes on to say, 3,000 Moorish Americans in Moroccan costumes, and each carrying a flag of the nation of their forefathers, which is the Moorish flag. Notice that they talk about Moroccan costumes, but they don't call it a Moroccan flag. Do you notice that? Anybody catch notice of that?
Peculiar.
They know the difference between, of course they would know the difference between a Moroccan and a Moorish flag. They write in the article. Goes on to say, which is the Moorish flag and the American flag on their right, assembled at 37th and Federal Street, where they purchase a temple site. And there, after having a group picture, which we have seen, what I showed earlier, made, which was very colorful, for the parade. The Prophet, in securing a permit, He ain't say this my land. He ain't say I got the right jurisdiction, the right to land. He secured a permit for the parade. Also secured a squad of what? Say it with me now. European police to accompany his car in the parade. Say it with me one more time. The prophet in securing a permit on their land, securing a permit on his land. Listen, the prophet in securing a permit for the parade also secured, say it with me one more time, a squad of European police to accompany his car in the parade.
Brother
The-
Charles.
Huh?
Whoa. Once upon a time in my anti-temple ideology, that just told me as an anti-temple Moor, Noble Drew Ali waived his birthright so many times in that little paragraph that you just read. He waived his birthright and let them trespass on his estate that many times. He had the police escorting him. He purchased land that he's the heir apparent to. Lord, is he? Go ahead. And he had the flags the wrong way. Oh man, he's an agent. Go ahead, bro.
You forget it. He should have filed a UCC-1 before he did this.
There you go.
You know, to get him on the private side.
The
That's what he probably did.
Was from 37th and Federal Street east to Wabash and north on Wabash to 32nd Street, then to the Temple at 3140 Indiana Avenue. That it was one of the most beautiful parades that had been held in Chicago for a number of years, was stated by all of the leading newspapers of the city. The parade did much to inform those who were not acquainted with the movement as to the aims and purpose of the Moorish Americans. I think that's what it end off to say. The point that I'm making in closing, family, that people have been misled. The people has been misled and misguided. They don't understand what the Moorish Science Temple of America is dedicated to. Many of those that was with the prophet didn't understand, and the prophet said it himself. So either we are going to follow the prophet Noble Drew Ali, or we're going to follow these fictitious groups that make up stuff and try to persuade you to become a criminal, to become an outlaw, to become one who's outside of the laws. We can work within the laws and achieve everything we need to achieve, but we got to do it together. With that being said, I said peace and love. Family, that is one of the pieces of medicine that I pull out my medicine bag as an indigenous. But in the Moorish vernacular, don't make me dig up in my sheep bag. All right? Man, peace and love. Thanks to the panel. I appreciate y'all. And we're going to do this again real soon. Peace and love, family. I got to go.